please set aside some time to work on your business. What does that mean? That means it's time to fix the belts.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
And a big fat welcome to the program. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast chair. Thank you for joining me once again. I want to talk a little bit about the slowdown. I know you don't want to hear about it, but I want to give you some encouragement today that I think will make a big difference. I want to pause here and remind you of some things that will make a big difference in your life, and that is Spark and Synapse. Folks, these are two different products, same company, great company, providing excellent technology for you. Can't wait to tell you about them. Spark and Synapse, you can find out more by going to sparkforappraisers.com. All right, folks, I want to talk a little bit about the slowdown. It's been slow. Interest rates have come up. I don't know if you heard that, but that's the word on the street. Some appraisal offices I have heard have slowed down 50+%. Ouch, gulp, right? Most I think have slowed down more like 20-30%. I think we're about 30% slower in lender work. Now we're focusing on our private work, of course, just like you should be as well. We've talked a lot here about what to do during the slowdown, right? And I think it's just obvious that one of the greatest things you can do, one of the best, most productive, best ROI, return on your investment that you can get right now, is to focus on marketing, specifically with your non-lender, but also with your lender. Over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about some of the things that you can do with your direct lending, even the AMCs. Yes, you can market to AMCs, believe it or not. And I know what you're saying, well, the AMCs, they're not looking for anybody. They have appraisers coming out their ears. Yeah, that's true, folks, but they don't have great appraisers, great business owners coming out their ears, and you need to be those peoples. Now, what I do want to talk today about is not marketing, but some other things that you might be able to do, you should be doing with your time right now. And specifically, I want to use an analogy. You've heard me talk about the assembly line. I often refer to appraisal businesses, your small business, as an assembly line. In fact, I have a document that I give to all of my members, my all-star members, called the assembly line. If you ever do coaching with me, personal coaching, there are a couple of items that I send you before the coaching session. So before you meet with me one-on-one, my great assistant reaches out to you with a welcome email and several things attached. And one of them is, the assembly line. What is the assembly line? Well, the assembly line is the step-by-step process that you will utilize in your office from start to finish. Normally when people reach out for me for coaching, it's not to find out how to hit a baseball better. You've got the wrong coach for that, folks. But they reach out to me on how they can make more money, how can they utilize their time better, how can they improve their systems, folks. The answer to all of those questions, and this is one of the reasons that I send out the assembly line as a tool, is the assembly line. What is your system like? Right? Think back to The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. If you've not read that book, oh my gosh, folks, it is the Bible inside our masterminds, right? The assembly line is a product of that, right? I don't know if he uses that term or not, but it's the principles and the systems inside a small business that allow you the most return, the best return on your investment. In other words, the things that you do over and over again should have a system. I'll give you an example. If you, like any other appraiser, need to schedule appointments, right? There is a process and a way to do that. I've got a template for that. I'm willing to share that with you, right? But it really needs to be yours. You need to own it. You need to take my script and make it yours, right? If it's nothing more than changing the company name, right, it's still yours. You make it customized to fit your situation. But that is a thing that we do over and over and over again. We text or we call, and that's part of the assembly line. Do you call first? Do you text first? Like, these things need to be figured out. But those things that you do over and over again, making adjustments, choosing comps, taking comp photos, turning in the appraisal report, scheduling the appointment, these things go on and on. Each of these should have a process. Each of these should be part of the assembly line. Think of it like this. If you're building a machine, that thing starts out in parts on one side of the assembly line, and by the time you get to the end, it's a fully organized and built machine because somebody at step 32 put this nut on this bolt. And that was a process that they repeated over and over and over and over again. Call it choosing comps, right? Over and over and over and over again. How do you do that? How do you make it most efficient? How do you make it most effective? How do you get that word out there? In other words, what's the container that has the manual that you need to run the assembly line? Okay, all of these things are important. What does that have to do with the slowdown? Stay tuned. Folks, one of the great systems and part of the process of the assembly line in my office is using both Spark and Synapse. I'm often asked, what is the difference? Well, first of all, they're spelled different. They both start with S. But more importantly, Spark is a data importer. Okay? Think of it this way. You choose the comps. You know what your subject matter is. How would you like to import the tax data, the MC sheet, some graphs, right? But more importantly, the comps directly into your report without you having to lift the finger. Well, you have to lift one finger. You got to hit one button. That's what Spark will do for you. Synapse is a companion, but a totally different software. Synapse allows you to make appropriate adjustments because it is a data collector. It is a data cruncher. It helps you to make decisions. It does not make them for you. It does not say you should use $67 a square foot in this report. No, but it does tell you what the suggested adjustment is. Therefore, you still are the professional. Spark and Synapse, both of them can be found at sparkforappraisers.com. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. I love that music. I really do. I hope you do as well. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. We are talking about the slowdown. I know we've been talking about the assembly line, but how does this all fit together? Yes, you should be doing some marketing during the slowdown. But folks, if you have not already, please set aside some time to work on your business. What does that mean? That means it's time to fix the belts. Now, for the last couple of years, unless you have, been doing something wrong, you have been busy as hell. I tell people quite often, the last little while, if you think you're a great business owner because of all the revenue that you've generated over the last couple of years, folks, you're fooling yourself. Anybody with a pulse and a license has done well over the last couple of years, truly, unless you purposely didn't, right? And that was a decision on your side. Appraisers were in high demand over the last couple of years, right? COVID started. I don't know if you remember this. I do. I did not know what to expect. Go back and look at the episodes that we had in March, April, May of 2020, right? We had no idea what was happening. And my encouragement was, hey, prepare, put those nuts aside for the winter. Who knows what's going to happen? And folks, I'll tell you, the exact opposite of what most appraisers thought would happen happened. And that is we absolutely blew up with all kinds of business. And we've been busy. Those machines have been moving up and down that assembly line in rapid fire. Now, what happens when you move an assembly line a little bit faster than you should? That assembly line wears out faster than it should, right? Those belts get worn out. They get tears. They get rips. They get stretched, okay? It is now time, folks, with the slowdown to find out where those tears, those rips, those stretches are and fix them. What does that mean? That means you set aside daily, if not weekly, time to work on your business. Working on your business says, where are things broken? Where can things be improved? Maybe they're not broken, but they can be better. They can be more efficient, right? The way that this person puts this nut on this bolt could be better done with their right hand, even though they're using their left hand currently, right? Those types of things. And you will only know that if you sit down and take a view of your appraisal office from the 5,000 foot, but also in the trenches. I often encourage those people in my office that are working in the trenches to give me feedback. What's working? What's not working? In fact, in every single one of our staff meetings, we typically have what we call round robin. And round robin is something that everybody in my staff meeting dreads because they don't like to hear themselves talk. But I reach out and I say, Lee, tell me, what is broken? What can we do better? What's working? Right? It's both positive and negative. What's working well? What do we need to improve? And I'm telling you, folks, boots on the ground, individuals will see where the tears are, where the rips are, where the stretches are. It is time today. The slowdown gives us opportunity, folks, to fix the assembly line. Please spend some time doing that. Don't worry so much about the future. This is cyclical. Take the time to fix the assembly line so that when things speed back up, you're ready. Thank you for joining me today, folks. Speaking about being ready, I would love to be your coach. Would love to help you to be ready for what's coming. I would love to help you to market, to increase. One of my biggest questions right now in my personal coaching is, Dustin, what can I specifically do in my particular market to make sure that I'm the number one appraiser out there? I would love to help you with that. Check it out by going to the website, theappraisercoach.com, and click on coaching.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.